Well, it is sunrise o'clock, half up a mountain. My plan was to be all the way up the mountain to watch the sunrise, which is over through there. However, my ability to run up mountains at my age, unfortunately, is somewhat limited now. So it's taken me longer to get up here than I anticipated. However, if that is not a nice start to the day, I've actually done the steepest part of this trail, which is down through that way. I've done the steepest part, and that is a real toe cruncher all the way up here. 25 stop all the way up. But and I'm about halfway up now, so that's good. From here on up it kind of levels out. From here on up it's basically, compared to what I've just come up, it's almost flat. So I'm going to continue up that way. But I'm just going to stand here a while and just look at that. Look at it, absolutely stunning. Yeah. It's supposed to be a warm day today. Got a nice cool breeze. There's actually frost on the ground when I got out the car, so, and as you can see, the sun is coming up over. Can't come around too far because you'll be right into the sun. What if I can get the sun behind that tree? There we go, let's try that. There we go. So sun's up. It's about 15, 25, 30 minutes by the look at that. About half hour or so up. But I was hoping to be at the top of this hill when I come up. However, I will certainly settle for that. Look at that. Right, now I have to continue up this way. This bit's a little bit rocky, so you have to be a little bit, pick your way up the rocks just to notch that bit. Just to get up here. However, every 5 seconds I can stop and find another view. Look at that. If that doesn't make every step of that agonising trail coming up here worthwhile, I don't know what does. Yeah, that's just a nice breeze too. It's a cool breeze. Like I say, there was frost on the ground when I got out of the car, and it was only, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 degrees, something like that. But there used to be a way down the back of this mountain, and that's what I'm looking for today. I'm looking for the other way down, because they did some logging in there a few years back and kind of made a mess of things in there. So where I'm heading, that rock bluff that you can see right in the middle of the shot up at a distance, that's where I'm heading, and once I get up in there I'll do some more video. So the wind is making the most amazing sound. Listen to that. What an amazing sound. Wish you could feel how good that breeze is. I'm hot getting up that hill, but that cool breeze, oh, that is something else. That is absolutely something else. Right, I'm going to plod along and keep heading up that way. Well, I'm certainly getting up there now, in a decent elevation now. I don't know what the total weight gain is up here. I don't really care too much for all that kind of stuff. I just going to swap hands here. There we go. Some people worry about all that stuff. Oh, there are cows down there. Cows down the valley there somewhere. They'll all be coming out of there soon, I guess. Won't be that time soon. And then they'll be up. They come in and they round them all up. Now that's quite the thing to watch. They have a whole bunch of people up here, proper cowboys, not wannabes, proper cowboys, up here searching these mountains looking for the cows. Let me tell you, that is not an easy thing to do. Cows are not the smartest of animals. You can't set a watch and say, hey, you know what, on the 26th of October you've all got to come down to the road. But those guys have to come up in here, and girls have to come up here and find them, and they could be just about anywhere. Fortunately, they do know where most of the good grazing spots are. So I suspect if we come up here next year, there's a lot of these dead leaners here. I suspect most of those will be on the ground next year. Like I say, compared to the bit I've just done, this is absolutely amazing. Look at it. This is almost just like a stroll in the park, this bit. I'm heading up to the top. Right up there. See if I can get a picture from this corner. I'll show you where I'm heading. Up there, see that cliff? That's where I'm heading, up there. I'm going to stop, have something to eat, and just enjoy being there. You have to be a little bit careful up here. It is rocky, and that is a sizable cliff down there. So, good idea to keep an eye on your footing on this last little bit, because it makes it quicker to get down the hill, but somewhat painful stopping at the bottom. Right, but as you can see, compared to the rest of what I just came up, I didn't film that first bit because I have to stop like every 25 paces. That is a killer on your legs. But if you take it slow, you only get so much energy for the day, and if you use it all up first thing in the morning, you've got nothing left for the rest of the day. Now my plan is to see if I can find the back route out of here and down the mountain, because it turns it into a very nice loop. Before they logged the back of this mountain, it was a fairly easy to follow trail, but I'm not convinced that too many people use it now, because it is very hard to find. So, look at that. If that is not nice, I just don't know what is. That is absolutely amazing. Look at that. Yeah, I will take some more of that. Right, off to my right, if I can find a gap up through the rocks here somewhere, don't fall off this mountain in the process of doing so. Right. Tiptoe across the rocks, boing, boing, there we go. Now that is a nice view. I've got a feeling this next couple of days is going to be absolutely busy as hell up in the mountains. That lot all over the other side of the valley there, that's all Hunchback Hills. There's many good trails up in there, although they have logged a lot of it up over the other side of those hills. I can see where they've cleared the trees out from here, at the up on the skyline there. However, there's another great area to explore. Wobbly rocks. Onwards and upwards. Like I was saying, off to my right, if I can find a gap in the trees, I'll show you something. There's another trail up here that a lot of people use, and if I can find the back route out of this mountain, if I can re-establish that. Wow, look at that. I was going to put the camera away until I got to the top, but I can tell you now, there are so many amazing views and what have you up here. Oh look, there's a shadow people. That shadow person's following me up this mountain. I've noticed that. There's a big hole. Go past there. Right, this is a bit you've got to be careful of, because this is, you have to literally walk along the cliff edge here. So, shadow people, hello. Yeah, it's nice, eh? Right. Up here somewhere, looks like it's just coming up to it. Oh, yes. This bit here, I call this the rock shelter. I don't know who built this, but on a very windy, blustery day, this is extremely nice. So I am going to have a seat, have something to eat, enjoy that view, look at that, enjoy that, and do some more in a bit. So I've stopped to have something to eat, got my little pack off, thank goodness. If that doesn't make for a nice view, I'll just pile some more rocks on this side, just keep the wind off my back a bit. Got some breakfast, a little Cliff Bar. I think this is the peanut butter and something or other one. Very nice to have once you just walked up the hill. Because where I've just come from is the bottom of that valley right down there. So it is fairly steep. I don't know what the height gain is here. 400 or 500 meters, something like that. I don't know. You gain a lot of elevation very, very quickly. But if that doesn't make it worthwhile, I really don't know what does. It's quite something, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. That is good. So, gonna put that down there for a second. Right. Dave in the cave, we'll call this. No roof, but just pretend it's a cave. My chair's a little wobbly. Need to talk to IKEA. I need better chairs up here. But this is what more people need to do in life. Head up to the top of a mountain somewhere. Just sit there and look. Because looking at the elevation gain across here, that's most of these hills. That one over there is a little higher. Those ones over the back are way higher. I wouldn't even be out in the forest on those ones. But that's all the back. That's Baldy, Fisher Range, and that is all over that way. But, very nice location. And other than having no roof, this is Dave in the cave on top of a mountain. This is where I wanted to be at sunrise. However, in here I'm still 20. In here, not so much. That burns the legs coming up there, I can tell you. It gets muscles going. I can feel that. That's why you stop every now and again, because the I think it's lactic acid or whatever it is, it builds up in the muscles. It all builds up in the back of your calves, and if you keep going, it just builds up, and then you get cramp. So all you have to do is stop every now and again, let all that junk go, it disappears around your body, let it all go, and then continue again. And it's I call it 25 stop. It's a trick that I've used for many years, and it actually works really well. I am going to have a drink of water. Always make sure if you come up places like this, especially this time of the year, that you are very bear aware, because they're all fattening up ready for winter, and I've no wish to be a bear snack just to get them through the winter. If they hear voices, they do tend to avoid people. They don't like people, despite what a lot of people will tell you. They're not crawling around the mountains looking for people to eat. That's not what they're doing at all. They're looking for food and berries, and you know, if they can come across a deer or something like that, great. You know, that'll keep them going. And trust me, they'll soon chow down on that. However, they don't actively hunt people. To my knowledge, there's some cows down there on the road. To my knowledge, there has never been a recorded case in Alberta of a bear actively hunting a human, like going out specifically to hunt a human. There's been bear attacks and people have been killed by bears, but that's usually because there's other factors involved. Like if you're riding the bike really fast and you come around a corner, you could start the bear. If you get near a bear that's got cubs and what have you, that can cause a problem. People running through the mountains, generally it's things that are moving fast. So if you move slow and you make lots of noise, generally speaking, they don't bother you. I see them all the time. I hear them
way more than I see them actually, because if a bear suddenly decides it's going to disappear through the forest, it actually makes a fair amount of noise. It's like a little bulldozer running through the forest. It's not like a deer. I mean, a deer can run through the forest right past you, literally right past you, and you won't even hear it. You'll just, they're like ninjas, they're just gone, no sound. But a bear actually makes quite a noise. Now it can walk through the forest quiet, don't get me wrong, but if it's in a hurry to get away, it's just going, and you get 400 to 500 pound bear running through a forest, trust me, it makes a noise. So, but generally speaking, if you let them know that they're there, you don't have any problems with them whatsoever. But, yeah, I've never had any problems with them really. Only thing I've ever had any trouble was a bloody moose. Now moose are different. Yeah, I don't like them bloody things. I avoid them like the plague. If I see a moose, I will go way out of my way. Yeah, I got chased by one of them things once. Not pleasant. Yeah. So, yeah, I will give that a miss. If this is not a great way to start the day, I don't know what is really. The way I'm going to try and find back is actually that way. Let me see if I can show you that. I need to talk to IKEA. They need a better chair. Let's see if we can. There we go. That'll work. Yes, the flat pack chair didn't flat pack very well to the top of the hill. The way I'm going to head back is I'm going to go that way, and if I head north is kind of over there ish, yeah, so north is kind of that way, so I'm going to head over. There's a hill over through these trees through this way, so I've got to go down a little bit and around the hill. If I go around the other side of that hill and then head pretty much dead north, I will actually come across the trail that I'm looking for on the way back. Because let's see if I can find it. I have my bear spray with me, but I'll leave my pack there for a second. Where that trail joins is right smack through the middle of that shot there, right in the distance. You can see a hill with very little vegetation on top of it. That's Eagle Hill. Very, very popular hike. So the back way out of this mountain actually goes down to the bottom of the valley between me and that mountain in the distance there, that hill there, and then turns right. And that's all it is. It just makes a very nice loop. And it used to be a very nice loop. However, getting up here, since they cut the trees, as you can see, the trees are all growing quite nice. So I'm going to see if I can find the remnants of that trail and use that as a way down, because I don't mind going down that steep bit. But given the choice between heading down that, or the way I've just come up is about 2 kilometers of basically up, and if I go that way it's about 4 kilometers of gently down. So I think I'm going to opt with the gently down version. Yeah. You do have to be careful up here because it is very rocky, and it's very loose rock too. It's all sandstone and sorry, limestone that's broken up. So you can see the layers here. Always fascinates me. You see a crack in the rock like that. You think how many millions of years it took for that to form. Literally millions and millions of years for that to form. This was all sediment on the bottom of an inland sea at one point. So all this would have been slop and goop on the bottom of a sea. However, now it is rock on the top of a mountain, which I'm now stood on and enjoying that. You just can't get much better than that. Right, so I've had a drink, had something to eat. I'm going to stop waffling for a bit, and I'm going to set a compass bearing off the top of this hill over here in a minute, and see if I can find my way back down the old way. Right, that'll do for the moment. Well, my estimation for north was pretty damn close. I just set that up. There's Eagle Hill right in the distance. You can see it over the top of the compass there. That little hole in the middle of the compass at the bottom there, that's what you actually sight through. So I'm sighting through there. And the mirror, people they get messed up with what this mirror is for. If you set that up at about 45 degrees like that, so it's looking straight back at you, if you look, you can see, if I turn that, see the needle moving, I want it pretty much right through there. I've taken a bearing from where I am, so I know from the top of this hill to the top of Eagle Hill, so I could actually plot this on my map when I get home. I know that I am literally straight line. literally north-south. So that is perfect. So that'll be really good. So I only need to vary off to my side to the left here, probably 15-20 degrees maximum. So once I'm down into these big trees in front of me, I mean they're 8 to 10 feet tall. Once you're in amongst all that crap, you can't really see where you're going. So, but you can take a bearing off there. So I now know that from the top of this hill to there is dead on north, really. I love this little compass, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so I know that that's north. So I'll stick that back around my neck so I don't lose that. And I'm going to head that way and left a bit and see where I end up. So here I am, perfect example of what I was just saying with the trees and what have you. You get into here, these trees are just tall enough that you can't quite see over them. And it's, so my reference point for that hill over there is now gone. I can't see it. I know where the sun is. I know instinctively where it is. It's that way. However, if you don't know, you can't see it. However, out with your trusty compass, set that up like that. I know that that hill is right in front of me, so I know I need to just peel off around to my left here a little bit through these trees. So it doesn't matter whether you have a map, as long as you can take a sighting point of where you were in the first place, it actually works fine. So I'm going to head along. Looks pretty much like I'm going to follow this ridge line of trees along here for a bit and see what I've got. But there isn't much of a route along here, I can tell you that for nothing. Yeah. But these are the kind of trails that I like. I like trails like this. The great big wide tourist trails, which basically might as well be tarmacked with a yellow line down the middle of them. You can keep that. That's not for me. Don't like that. Oh wow, look at that tree. Now that's a good tree. That's a nursery tree. Yeah. Trees like this should always be kept, because when they clear an area, don't ever cut those trees down. I mean, you look at the height of the trees in here, right? I'm about to enter a fairly thick area of regrowth, so I need to keep an eye on where I am. But it looks like this was the clear cut piece, and I know if I go straight down that mountain, because I've been up there before, if I plod straight through this lot, I know I can end up on the trail I'm looking for. But I would rather do the loop all the way around and see if I can make it a bit better. Yeah, that is a nice tree, eh? Look at that. That is a good tree. Right, I'm just about to lose my view. That's the last I can see of my mountains through there at the moment. So I'll put this camera away and get set up for finding my way through this lot. So here I am in the middle of some new forest growing. The sun is over there still, so I know roughly the hill that I sighted up on must be that way. This is the small hill in front of me that I'm going to head up and around. Looks like I'm basically going to follow this new growth and old growth tree line up to the top. Once I get up to that top corner up in there, I'll be able to get a good view again, and then I can set another bearing and go from there. Yeah, this is actually pretty pleasant through here. I like this. Wow, I just came down the side of a hill over there, down into a valley, back up another steep hill. The sun's behind me now, so my bearing is there's Eagle Hill right in the distance there. That valley over there is the Bow Valley. I can see stuff moving on there because the Trans-Canada Highway and everything's down in the bottom of that valley. Those mountains over there, I can see Yamnuska, all the way up the back of what's that valley up there called? Goes up towards Black Rock and all that. I can't think what that valley's called. Anyway, if you go up that valley over there and you turn left, it brings you down the back of Lake Minnewanka and what have you, into the back of Banff. We have the other side of that tree, if I can get a better view of it, straight ahead, right in the centre of the shop, is Mount Yamnuska. That'll be popular up there today. Door Jam is off to the left of that and what have you. But I can't remember what that valley's called. It's where all the mountain climbers and that go up in there. It's the Mountain Climbing Association, and all the way up the back of that valley, straight ahead of where I'm looking now, that takes you up into what's called the Ghost region, and that's nice up in there. Gets a bit busy, especially on a weekend like this. A lot of people up there with off-road vehicles and all that kind of stuff. Bit too noisy for my liking. I prefer this. I can wander through this all day long. I say,
Eagle Hill is over that way. So my theory is, if I follow these trees, I know where that bit of forest is right in front of me, the tall growth right there. I've been there before, I know exactly where that is. So if I follow this tree line round and then peel round slightly right, it should take me exactly to where I need to be. I will see how good my sense of direction is in the trees once I get in there. Right, let's see where I end up. Well, my hill, my reference hill, is now over that way. That's all forest, new forest. And I happen to know that in this piece of forest that I'm looking through on my map, there is a cut line, a very definitive cut line, just before I need to head downhill. And this, straight through there. See it? That's what they call a cut line. That's where they mark out the different sections of forest and what have you. So if you look on the ground here, I can see a whole bunch of cut logs, short cut logs, where they've literally come through, marked it all out. This is the stuff you're looking for. See these? Yeah. This helps you navigate. Yeah. Old cut lines. So the original cut line would have gone straight out through that way, through the forest. But as you can see, they cleared the forest and replanted it. It's grown nicely too. They're up there a fair way, those trees. So this is the cut line. So I know for a fact I need to go that way. So from the cut line on the top of the ridge, I need to set a bearing straight across to Kananaskis, and all I have to do now is walk down the hill and I should be back on the trail. A large pile of bear crap. Fortunately old bear crap, but just lets you know that they are around here. Now I need to go that way. I know I'm heading downhill the wrong way, so I'm going to have to kind of do a Dave trail through the forest here a bit. When they cleared all those trees, they dumped a whole bunch of slash in here, and it makes it really hard to get through. So I'm going to go down through here and just bushwhack it for a bit around to the right. Well, after some considerable bushwhacking through that lot, I know that those nice trees over there, that's where the reserve line is, and that there is Eagle Hill. So I know I'm heading in roughly the right direction. So I am round the back of the hill where I need to be. I'm exactly where I need to be. However, that is pretty overgrown in there. There is nothing like a trail in there anymore. Absolutely nothing. However, I have found a very nice animal trail. So after bushwhacking that lot, I'm going to follow it for a while, because it does actually go in the direction that I want it to go. So hopefully I should swing around towards the sun. If I'm heading back to where I'm parked, I should be walking straight into the sun. Now I do know if I go to the bottom of this valley, if I head straight down to the bottom of that valley there and then turn right, it will take me exactly back to where I'm parked. But I like to explore, so I'm going to cut across. Looks like whatever walks this way cuts across to those trees in the distance over there. So I will do the same and see where I end up. Well, I'm now absolutely certain that this is the trail I was looking for. As you can see, look at it. This is why it was quite easy to miss. I don't think too many people walk this way since they cleared out all the forest and that up here. I'm beginning to recognise places because I've come up through this way the other way before now. This is getting less congested as I go down this way. And I have a feeling last time I came up this trail, get out from under this tree that's in the process of falling, this corner here is as far as I got, I think. Let's get back in the shade. The sun's actually warming up. We're in October and that sun's actually warm. There is rumour that next week we're going to hit 27, so we shall see. Yeah, this is most definitely the trail, if you can call it that. Yeah. And this is why people probably don't use this one anymore. Oh, there's a sign on the tree. What does a sign say? This is definitely a piece of an old logging road. I'm now walking down a logging road, which means I know exactly where I am and exactly where I'm going. So this is the trail I was looking for. I just had to take the scenic route to find it. Yes, here we go. When they mark out the areas for logging, they put the signs in it up in the trees. So this corner here, this is as far as I got last time I came around this way, because basically the trail just disappeared into nothing, and I can see why now. So yeah, So at that point where it disappears into nothing, I need to head up to the top of the ridge and turn left and just basically walk in a straight line. So right, I'm going to head down that way. The larches and that, or the aspens and that are all turning a nice golden colour. Everybody will be out in the mountains this weekend looking for the larches. Oh my god, I've got to go out into the mountains and find some yellow trees. There are yellow trees everywhere. Yes, it's that time of the year. Yeah, this is most definitely the remains of the old logging road. But as you can see, there's lots of aspens down in there. And they're all turning yellow. Amazing, look at that. Yeah, nice reds and oranges and everything. I love this time of the year, it's fantastic. Look at that, nice piece of grass there. Look. Wow, that's next year's supply of grass seed right there. And you'd be amazed. You look through here, I mean, this, people say, you know, they clear cut forest and all the rest of it. But that forest I've just walked through, those trees up there are all 8 to 10 feet tall. They're all grown very, very nicely. And 30 years from now, there'll be a thick, dense forest. And everybody will think it's been there forever. But it's not. That area down the bottom there, I happen to know is pretty wet, so I'm not going down through the bottom of there. That's where I was heading. If I ended up going down that slope and kept going, I'd have ended up down in the bottom of that lot, and I really didn't want to be down there. I happen to know that is very wet down in there. Right, so I'm going to follow this hill round. I will put this camera away in a minute because I'm about to head on literally straight into the sun. I'm going to be walking straight into the sun for a good distance back, so that's a bit of a pain till I get in the bottom forest. However, what an amazing day for a walk. Right, I'll do some more in a moment. Well, that over there is Eagle Hill. Can't see any people on it yet. There's normally people up there by now. Yeah, very, very popular hike. There's two ways you can get to that hill. You can take the short way or you can take the long way. The short way is about 5 kilometres shorter. As you can see, this is pretty overgrown down through here. And this is prime bear country, so I'm stopping every now and again, make a bit of noise. Just stop and look. Stop, look and listen. And sometimes you'll be amazed what you see. Look at this for a glorious day though. I'll take this. This is actually the wide part of the trail, look at that. That's why it's hard to follow. Yes. I think, knowing what I know now, the best way to do that hill where I went this morning was straight up the steep bit, straight back down the steep bit. However, if you want a really nice walk and you don't mind stomping through some trees and stuff, a bit of bushwhacking, this is by far and away the best way. It's just have to keep stopping every now and again because the sun is right in my eyes and I'm just making sure there's nothing moving down the trail. Right, let's put that away for a bit because the sun's getting a bit bright. Well, here I am back at somewhere that I know very well. Anybody that knows this area, if they're going to Eagle Hill, they would have come up that way. You come to a Y junction just after the dip. The Eagle Hill goes that way. There is a shortcut through the forest that way, I'll show you that in a minute. But the way I've just come down is I've just bushwhacked down through that lot for about 3 kilometres. So, in answer to the question, is there much of a trail up around the back way anymore? No, not really. Once the forest grows and it becomes easier to walk through, 10-15 years from now, that'll actually be a very nice walk up around that way. As it stands at the moment, it's still very thick, dense junk. Like if you look at this forest on this side, this was all clear cut, I would say probably 30 years ago, 20-30 years ago, something like that, maybe less. And you can see the way it's all grown up. The trees on this side, much bigger, much older. So as you can see, I'm back on a really wide trail now. Yeah, but there is a turn off down here where most people, if they're heading to Eagle Hill, cut through the forest. It cuts a big corner off. It cuts this corner off that I'm on now, but just down here there is a turn off, and it's a very nice little walk through there. Actually, it's a very nice trail. Older trees, a couple of little ups and downs, but not much, and much more pleasant than walking up this old fire road. It cuts the corner off too. Oh, it's nice to get a bit of speed up again. Yeah, it's a slow plod down through thick growth like that, because where they've cut all the trees, what you're walking on is basically a pickup sticks mess of dead trees, so you have to be careful where you put literally every single foot, otherwise you can fall down holes, and you fall over and break a leg or something up in that lot, you're in trouble. So Nobody's going to find you in there in any time of hurry. So, here's the wet bit. I don't like this bit. There used to be some logs in here, and they were a bit of a pain because they got so slippery that they were actually dangerous to walk across. So, ooh, interesting. That there looks like a little cat track. It's nice and round and 4 paws. Yes, I think we've got a little bobcat or something up in here somewhere. It's definitely not a mountain lion, it's way too small. Yes, it was a baby one. That looks more like a bobcat. Interesting. Things you find when you're wandering around, eh? Yeah, here's another wet bit down here. And people put logs across these pieces, which is great. It really does help, you know. But you've got to be so careful on these logs because they can get really, really wet. Now the turn off that people take is actually right here somewhere. The shortcut that people take. It's near one of these dips. So I'm just going to walk through the mud, it's easier. I like mud because you look in the mud and you can find all kinds of things. It's like when it snows, that's when you get to find out what you're sharing the forest with. Yes, the off-cut trail, the turn off, actually it goes there. I don't know if you can see it, but just in that tree there, there's a little piece of orange tape. If you're heading up to Eagle Hill and you get to this point where the dip is and the logs, if you just turn in there where that orange tape is, there's a well-trodden trail that cuts that whole corner off that I just saw. Right, I'm going to put this away because I'm heading straight into the sun. I'll do some more when I get further down the trail. Right, I've just stopped for a little break in the trees here, get out the sun. The smell of the leaves here is stunning. Yeah, this is almost back at the beginning of the trail. The smell of the leaves is absolutely amazing. Oh, just sit watching them fall out the trees. One leaf at a time, feeding the forest floor. You look at all these leaves on the ground and you think, oh, it adds up to a lot. But it doesn't. They actually break down very, very quickly. They break down into almost nothing. If you had a big pile of leaves and you let it literally break down into dust, you'd be surprised how small an amount it makes. But it's all a crucial part of the forest floor, and I can tell you now, it smells absolutely fantastic. Here's a bird or a squirrel up that one. Something just made a bunch of leaves fall out of that one. See, people go rushing off to find the larches because, oh, I've got to find the yellow larches, and they do look nice. I'll give them that, it does look nice. However, just come out into any forest around here this time of the year and just look at that. That is amazing. Right, I'm going to head back down the trail.